Hi, everybody. It's Diesel12, and welcome to another. And I know it's late, but I had some stuff I want to do today. But today we're going to do another bottle party discussion, and this time it is Crunch the Rock Dog, part one and two. So, part one opens up with Truly Galaxy, Truly Buttons, and I don't remember, Gusty, and the Bay Boys. Read a story about a couple who are being chased by something. I don't know what it's not explained, but it's okay. And one of them leaves, and obviously the rest of the most of them start crying, except for Wind Whistler, which I think is kind of a jerk kind of part of the episode. I'm not saying I don't like this episode, but there are some parts that are kind of irritate me. For example, there's a part where he basically says it's illogical to have feelings to for a character in a book. It's kind of like saying, how can you have feelings for a character in a story? Trust me when I say it's kind of hard not to have feelings. So this gives the rest of them to say she has no feelings whatsoever. And when Whistler tells him she does have feelings, and Megan and Danny tells him, yeah, and you just proved it by hurting them. We then turn our attention to the Busboys, who are chased by this huge rock dog, Crunch, the rock dog. He sings, I hate soft, which is basically him telling everybody, telling the audience, that he does not like anything gentle or soft. And he starts turning everything stone, and I mean everything. The ground he's stepping on, bush woolies, everything. Anyway, the two bush woolies that survive go and tell Megan, and they decide to go see Mr. Moonchick, who, of course, as always, knows the solution to everything. But he has his own problems. His stick, which is apparently alive by now, is running away from him. And they try catching it, and they realize that the reason why the stick is running away from him is because it feels overworked. Again, it's sentient, so. And they tell him, give, give the stick a day or two off. Let him have fun. And he tells him, well, okay, when the mushroom blooms. So probably be never, because I don't think we see a mushroom bloom. So they ask him about Crunch, this giant rock dog. And he tells them the only person that can help them out with him is his elevated eminence. So they walk out thinking Mr. Moonchick, and they run into Crunch the rock dog. Gusty decides that he's going to stop him by blowing his rocks, his minions away, but uh, they can't be blown away. They're so heavy, and Crunch turns her to stone, which ends part one. Part two is where they continue on, where we can still see Crunch basically, but and then truly decides that it's her turn to go and be brave. But Wind Whistler tells her that that she shouldn't, and Megan agrees with her. So they go see his elevated eminence. But before they can even get to him, Crunch was up to Gusty. Was up to, and then Buttons decides it's her turn to be brave. And so she stops them and keeps making in and out, eventually taking them and pushing them off the edge. Not on crunch. They get to this elevated eminence, which is a giant mountain that is actually him. And he tells them of how he created Crunch to be a guard dog for the Heartstone that is inside him. And it's the only thing that can stop Crunch. Because he put a piece of black crystal in his collar from the volcano gloom, the same place that the winters come from. And so he opens the doorway to the Heartstone. But he, of course, he's unsure what will happen when he take it. And when he finally reaches the Heartstone, Megan is hesitant. But of course, his elevated eminence tells her to go ahead and take it. But as soon as they try to take it outside, his elevated eminence becomes a grump, basically because his heart has been stolen. So they decide to go see Crunch, and he's waiting out there for him. Of course, he turns Gusty to stone, and then he turns. Then he decide. Then they decide. Yeah, I think it. Yeah, it's Gusty, and they decide that it is that Whistler decides. Okay, I've had enough of these parties that are love struck, and so he basically tells Crunch, but it's a trick that he can do whatever he wants with them, starting with Truly, which he does turn her to stone. Of course, with Whistler sends a tear, and and just as soon as Crunch sees that he does, when Whistler gives him his next victim, Megan, who has the Heartstone. And see, basically, they start running after him, and they use the Heartstone to turn him into a little puppy. And this turns everything back to normal. Gusty, Buttons, and Gusty, um, everyone, even the busboys. Then they start laughing and saying, and he basically tells them to stop laughing. So they decide to take a piece of Heartstone, break it off, and give it to Guts, which turns him bigger, back to his big size, but now he's a big grin on his face. And they start singing, It's Wonderful to Have a Heart. It's a song and a good episode. They give it back to his elevated eminence, and he says he is so happy that Quince has his own heart. The episode ends with them apologizing with Whistler for being so mean to her. And she tells them that it would have been hard to carry them since they were turned to walk. And she turns to them and says, Just kidding. Let's end part two. All right, next time we're going to talk about the Revolt of Paradise Estate, part one and two. Like, comment, subscribe, share. I'll see you guys in the next video.